talk now. This MMA, what we talking about? Yeah, you tuned into the pod now. Gonna be hard for you to stop now. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in.
Welcome back to another episode of Caged In. I'm your host, Chris DiCarlo. Today, we got a very special guest making his debut on the show. It is Jake Ferri. How are we doing today, my man?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. I get a little nervous on first date, so forgive me.
Hey, man, it's all right. We'll forgive you this first time.
All right.
I know you got a big fight coming up, man. August 17th, you're going in there, Combat Zone 85. You're going in there versus Rudy Lopez. Of course, we're here to talk about that, man. But since this is your first time on the show, I'd like to get into your background a little bit, get to know you a little bit better, and then we'll dive into the MMA stuff. All right?
Sounds good to me.
All right, man. Let's start off at the top, man. Where were you born and raised, and what was growing up kind of like for you?
Man, I've lived in Billerica, Massachusetts my whole life, except for when I moved to Ohio for 6 years to wrestle out there. But yeah, I've always been in Billerica. Growing up, I had two older brothers, little sister. We all did something different. I was the only wrestler in the family, and we all did different sports. And now here I am fighting. Wrestling took me here, and yeah, that's about it.
That's awesome, man. I know you touched on your athletic background a little bit, but growing up through school and whatnot, did you play any more like traditional sports, or were you always more of like the wrestler?
Oh yeah, I tried everything, man. Tried all the different sports. Did everything growing up. I started wrestling once in like fourth grade, and once I hit high school, I started, really getting into it and kind of just focus on that, and put everything else aside.
Yeah, man, for sure. And how'd that carry over to your introduction into MMA? Like, how'd you get introduced to the sport? What was the first time like for you inside an MMA gym? Just give me that backstory real quick.
So I've been training full time for a little over a year now since I finished up my career, March of 2023. But I've been around MMA since basically like a sophomore in high school. So my first introduction, I'm very close friends with Jake Pilla. I think he was helping coach wrestling with Brian Caldwell at Andover High at the time. He saw me wrestling and just invited me to come train. And I knew nothing. He's getting ready for a fight. I came up to a gym with him. I remember I knew nothing. I barely even knew how to wrestle at that point. But he put on some gloves and shin guards for light sparring. I remember I went to shoot like normal, like in wrestling, wasn't coming my face at all. He went to throw a leg kick at the same time. It just popped me right in the nose, popped right up. I'm like, what the fuck was that? and since then, I'm like, I think I want to do this. As soon as wrestling's over, this is what I want to do.
There you go, man. And I know you do got a big fight coming up in a couple of weeks, bro. I know there's a lot of people that maybe haven't seen you fight before that will be seeing you for the first time. So for those people, man, how would you describe your fight style to them?
Oh, my fight style, man. I think it's I don't force the wrestling. I like stand up striking. I think wrestling's the best background to have for MMA. I think it's the best base, but I try not to overuse it. I look at wrestling as nothing more than a bridge to either keep me on my feet if I want to stay on my feet, or take it to the ground if I want to go to the ground. But I like to mix in a little bit of wrestling. I think my two fights I've had, I've only shot once. Felt good on the feet, felt good with the striking. Just trying to put everything together. Trying to mix it up. But I like to try and keep a fast pace. I want to be entertaining, of course.
Sure.
I'm still figuring out my fight style, man. I'm still pretty new. Still getting there. We're learning every time. Always collecting information, seeing what works, what I like. But we're getting there.
Of course, man. I'd love to hear that. Let's get into your wrestling background a little bit, because I know you do have a long history with wrestling, a very successful college career as well. From what I understand, you are a D1 wrestler from Kent State. Tons of accolades to your name, man. Broke 100 career wins, NCAA Tournament qualifier. The list goes on, man. But looking at your career, how would you summarize your college wrestling career, and what did you learn most from your time in D1 wrestling?
There was definitely a lot of adversity, man. My first few years, I was losing most matches, was having a really hard time, and it took me a while. It took me a while. My third year, I redshirted, which for people that don't know, redshirt year is just like an extra year of eligibility. You don't compete, you still do open tournaments, you still practice, do everything, but you don't compete with your team singlet on. So my college career was a lot of adversity, a lot of losing before there was winning. It took me a long time to figure everything out, but eventually everything clicked. I know if I, could get through those first few years of just, things feeling hopeless, yeah, I can get through anything.
There you go, man. And what was your recruiting process like? I'm always fascinated by the recruiting stories, especially, for D1 athletes. Did you have other schools that were on the table for you to look at, and why did you ultimately choose Kent State overall?
So, I came really close to going to the Air Force Academy, which my life would be a lot different
if
sure. I went that route. Actually, I got screwed pretty bad there. I was, being recruited. I had no interest at first. I was like, I don't want to go to the military, dude. Sounds like it kind of sucks. But the coach took a visit here. I took a visit there, fell in love. Colorado, beautiful. You ever been?
No, I haven't actually. That's definitely a top spot on my list, though.
I got a good buddy that lives there now. I gotta go visit soon. But it's a beautiful state, man, unreal. So I visited. I kind of fell in love with it there. I was like, well, I won't have to pay anything. They cover everything there. I'm making a stipend every month. I graduate. I do 5 years in the Air Force after. Like, this is kind of nice. Like, this might be the way to go. Rest of the Division 1. And they have I'm not smart enough to get into the Air Force Academy, but they give you an athletic blue chip and everything. I came from a tech school, man. I was a plumber. I wasn't too smart, but so they gave me the blue chip. I did there's a huge application process. Everything you got to do, you got to, write a bunch of different papers. You got to pass all these medical exams, physical exams. You got to do an interview with the captain of the Air Force, which I did really well with. Do another interview with the state center, which I had set up. And when I was almost done with all this, I got a call, and they're like, we can't get you in because of your nut allergies. And I was heartbroken. I'm like, you kidding me, dude? Are you serious?
No. That's crazy.
This, I told them before, and they're like, yeah, we'll get you a waiver. It's a very mild allergy. I'm very irresponsible. I accidentally eat someone nuts in at least 3 times a year. It's a very mild allergy.
Right.
But so that was that, and that was pretty it's in my senior year. So I'm I gotta figure something out soon. And one of my club coaches got a call from one of his old college teammates, which ended up being my assistant coach at Kent State. They were looking for a guy that could be a 125 for life, because they couldn't get guys they would recruit guys for 125 and then they blow up and they couldn't make it anymore. And they knew I was pretty small. I could, be a definite 20 life. And a week later, I took a visit and said, let's do it. We're going to Kent State, Golden Flashes, baby. It's mostly because of the squirrels there. I fell in love with the squirrels.
Yeah, the squirrels did it for
campus, man. They got these black squirrels everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I remember the coach was driving me around campus. What was that, dude? He goes, the squirrels? I'm like, yeah. He goes, oh, they're everywhere around. I was like, all right, I'm coming here. I'm signing. Let's do this.
Yeah. It wasn't the pro wrestling program at all. It was all about the black squirrels. Looking back at the entirety of your wrestling career, do you have a specific moment or a specific highlight that you would say is your favorite thing?
My first time making it to nationals was definitely big. That was a big milestone. That qualifying for D1 nationals is hard, man. It's very difficult. And my first time making it, I had to place the top 4 in my conference tournament. I lost the semis, separated my shoulder pretty bad, and then I had to come back and win 2 more matches the next day to make it. And that sent me to nationals. When I was in nationals, my high school coach, who was dying of cancer at the time, who was incredibly close with, they give you free tickets for nationals. It was in St. Louis that year, and I was able to get him flown out and watch me wrestle. This was well after the diagnosis, probably about a half year before he died. So it's awesome having him out there, getting to watch me wrestle, one last time, and at the national tournament. So that was a very cool experience for sure.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Definitely cool that you could do that for him, especially because that's something that means a lot to you, not only in your life, but also for your wrestling career as well. Let's transition over to your MMA career a little bit, man. I know you are a 2-0 amateur flyweight. When you made your MMA debut, what were your feelings and emotions making that walk for the first time, especially, walking into a cage fight? Did it have any different feelings versus, walking onto the wrestling mats, or were you kind of used to this kind of pace and pressure considering your background?
Oh, it definitely helped, man. But, there's always competition's competition. I've wrestled hundreds of matches, but it is different. When I was wrestling, I like to be as carefree as possible. Like going into matches, like I would always tell myself, nothing matters. We're all gonna die anyways. Might as well go ball out. I'd try to be just having fun, as stressless as possible. With fighting, it's a little bit harder because like you only fight every couple months. Worst thing happens, like you get very, very injured, easier than you can in wrestling at least.
Mm.
But I still try to carry that same attitude, just having fun with it, being carefree, just getting after it. I feel that's how I perform best. That's how I stay, all loose and ready to go. That's how I enjoy doing things.
There you go, man. You have come into a bit of success early in your career. You are 2-0 with 2 finishes. The first one was early in round 1. Second fight, you got to finish early in round 2. Did you know, or did you have a feeling that going into MMA that you'd be able to start hot and get the success that you have so early in your career? Or are you also kind of surprising yourself as you're going on?
No, I anticipated, like I told myself if I really need to, my wrestling could win me a lot of fights right away, in the amateur scene. But, I'm not looking to wrestle. I'm looking to fight. I'm looking to be the best martial artist around. So I'm glad, like, I've been able to kind of keep on the feet. And in that last fight, was able to mix in some grappling too, feel more confident on the ground, kind of not as stressed about, getting caught in submissions or anything like that. But, yeah, this is all par for the course. None of this matters right now. This is just getting me ready for pros. I don't give a shit about all the amateur stuff, what's going on right now. This is just getting me ready for the next level. And that's all it is when it comes down to it.
Of course, man, 100%. And let's get into your training camp a little bit. I know you are over at KTA in Nashua, New Hampshire. For those that aren't familiar, man, can you just kind of describe the vibe of your gym?
It's great gym, great people. I got a little bit of a weird schedule because I train mornings, afternoons, and then in the evenings I coach. So I run a wrestling club up in North Reading. So dude, I got an easy life. I might be kind of a loser that still lives at home, but and don't have a whole lot of money, but the money will come eventually. All I do, man, I spend my mornings, afternoons training, and then I just coach in the evening. I beat up little kids for money. It doesn't get any better than that. But yeah, in this camp, like since I've been in camp, dude, not much changes. Like I'm pretty much training every day anyways, always in the gym. We just kind of, focus in a little bit on some more specific things. I just live my life a little bit cleaner. But, dude, camp, not much changes. It's what I do anyways every day. So it don't matter.
That's awesome, man. And, we are only a couple weeks out until fight night. You are putting the finishing touches on training camp. Who are some of your main training partners for this camp specifically? Who's been helping you get ready the most?
Go train with Walt all the time. Incredible coach. Been gone very close. He'll even sometimes, the morning class, there's not as many people there. He'll spar with me after if we want to get some in that day, or, work pass after class and stuff with him all the time. I train with Jake Pill a lot. He'll be fighting on the same card up at his gym in Gorilla Crew Fitness. So I'm excited about, being on the same card as him. There's something I've talked about for the last, 8 years of our mediocre friendship. Train with, Josh Madero's a good bit. He's a good training partner of mine. Learn a lot from him. Got a very similar style, both flyweights. So he's a great partner of mine. Just got, a handful of others in the gym I work with a lot. But, it was like some of my main people I work with the most.
There you go, man. And I know you mentioned Gorilla Crew Fitness. You are over at KTA. Are you getting any other cross training in, or is it mostly just between those two facilities?
It's mostly been between those two for sure. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm definitely open, expand and train with other people. I want to travel more and train for sure. That's like I've always been a dream, is just being able to travel around and train different places. But yeah, those places are where I've been just at lately.
That's awesome. And let's talk about like the similarities and differences between, fight camp for an MMA fight and, your wrestling season and get ready for wrestling. What are the similarities and differences between those two? Dude,
it's so much different. So like it threw me off a little bit because, wrestling, we compete, I wrestle 30 something matches in a season, make it weight all the time, where I'm 2 days out from competition. Like that day is a hard day.
Right.
That day we're wrestling hard, we're getting after it. Then the next day is just making weight day, whatever we got to do. Now it's MMA. That whole last week is just being as inactive as possible, just sharpening things up a little bit and getting the weight down, but trying to be as just not do anything. So it's kind of nice, but it's also like get kind of anxious, like, oh shit, I feel like I should be doing more, more. So that's been like a weird adjustment, but it's pretty cool. That's something that like took me a while to learn how to like, everything's always been go, 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 grind, grind, grind. Now like kind of learn how to take the foot off the gas pedal, when to grind, when to take it easy and stuff. And that's just balance of everything, to peak at the right time.
For sure, man. Let's get into the fight then, man. Combat Zone 85. You're going in there versus Rudy Lopez, who is 1-1 as an amateur. What do you know about this kid as an opponent, man, and how you feel about his game overall?
I don't really know anything. I haven't watched any film. I've been told he's got some good boxing, and there's no disrespect or anything, of course, but I think no matter where the fight goes, I win. We haven't really worked on much of a game plan. I think the game plan is to do whatever feels right, do whatever I'm feeling, whether I want to pressure, keep it on the feet, grind them out, take it to the ground. I think no matter where the fight goes, I win. And I think that's the case for most amateurs. I think I'm going to be better than all these amateurs before I turn pro. And if not, I'm going to clear them eventually. I'm going to close the gap, pull away, and then I'll do the same thing to all the pros after.
There you go. And, since you have that extensive wrestling background, and it seems like your striking is catching up pretty quickly considering the performances you put on in your first two with your hands, do you always have that wrestling in your back pocket as far as like you don't feel like there's really anybody in the region at your weight class that can really hang with you there? So, you always kind of have that to rely on if you need it.
Yeah, of course. And, like I said, I look at the wrestling as a bridge. If I want to take it to the ground, I can. If I want to keep on my feet, I can. But then once it gets to the ground, like we've been doing a lot more like MMA style grappling, figuring out what for my wrestling can transfer over, what doesn't, what works. So, I've been finding out those adjustments. It's I love finding out like, what can I use, what doesn't work. I think that's very intriguing, very fun. But yeah, it's been cool, man.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And in your first two fights, you have put on two electric performances. So I'm sure when the fans when the fans in the building see that you're on this fight card, they're going to be pretty excited to see this third fight of yours. So what can the fans in the building expect from Jake Ferri once those cage doors lock on August 17th?
Oh man, just expect fireworks to fly, baby. Come on, we gotta be getting after it. We gotta be scrapping hard. Rudy, seems like a great opponent, seems very game, seems up for a scrap. He's, commented on my stuff on social media and everything. I love the gamesmanship. He's going to come, I have no doubt he's going to come ready to scrap. I'm going to come ready to dismantle him.
There we go. This will be your third fight in 2024. Could we see you possibly squeeze one more in before the end of the year, get you four amateur fights before the end of 2024?
I'd ideally like to have 5.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Maybe even 6. Like as long as everything goes well, I've been healthy, been durable. Let's keep that up. I want bang out a couple others. I'm in no rush. I got plenty of time, but I'm also don't want to waste any time either. I'm 25. Looking to get my third fight in, so I'm not looking to waste any time here.
There you go, man. And doing a little bit of research on you beforehand, I noticed the finger gun celebration, man. Talk to me about the finger guns. Where did that originate, man? Give me the whole story behind that.
So I think we just started like as a joke in college. I started, doing finger guns, and then I eventually got this tattoo done. It says "Bang." Obviously for the finger gun. It's just a fun, stupid thing. We try to mark it off of. I enjoy doing it. Like I said, like trying to figure out, like, honestly, the whole business aspect to all this. I don't have much to market off of right now other than the finger guns. So we're just kind of letting it ride. Eventually got to figure out a nickname here. If you got any ideas, let me know.
All right, we'll put it in. Yeah, we'll put it in beta and get back to you.
Yeah, there's a couple like they used to call me the honey badge in college. Pillow wants me to go back to that. That one kind of like, I don't know, it's been used a lot. It's a cool name, but it's definitely been used. Walter wants me to do something with a kangaroo. Before my first fight, post like a, announcement of it on Instagram. It was like a picture of me like flexing, and then slide over. It's like a picture of a kangaroo flexing.
Yeah.
Like the same pose. Yeah, I just thought it was funny. And he wants me to kind of run with that. We got some ideas, but not that I'm too sold on yet.
There you go, man. And, it's still early, man. You only got 2 fights. You're still in your amateur career. There's plenty of time for you to earn one of those nicknames for sure.
Oh yeah. Can't force a nickname. We gotta come organically. We'll get there.
100%. All right, Jake, I appreciate the time, man. Thanks for coming on. Before I get you out of here, where can the people come find you? And if you got your social medias, kind of plug that, or sponsors, if you got a shout out, you can plug those too.
Okay. Yeah, my Instagram is just Jake Ferri. Keep it nice and simple. Ferri. I got some sponsors. I'd like to shout out my sponsor, Bountiful Farms. They're a dispensary based out of Natick. They have great product. They've treated me very well. So I gotta, shout them out. I'm a corporate shill, man. And you give me some money, I'll say anything. Broke, man. So
do what you got to do, man. I appreciate it.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you for taking the time. Best of luck on August 17th. Go out there, get the W, and we'll see what's next for you before the end of the year, man. I'm excited to see you perform again.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I think this was a really good first date. I think it went really well. If you want to do this again sometime, I'd love to.
Yeah, man. DMs are always open. Go ahead and hit me up.
All right, sounds good, brother.
Later, brother. Have a good one.
Down for the count and he can't even talk now. This MMA, what we talking about? Yeah, you tuned into the pod now. Gonna be hard for you to stop now. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in.